Um, well, of course, you can make service blueprints. So that's basically a map where you map out all the steps. And then per step, you actually do not only record, what is the customer experience per step, but you also really dive into, what are the front end, back end systems, and what supporting systems do we need to actually enable those steps to take place. And that's always an interesting step to go from, a journey or like a prototype of a journey that you have in mind to something that you can actually put live, and considering all the technical aspects that you need to take in mind there as well. Maybe that's something that answers your question, but Jochem, feel free to add more if you...
One of the things I'm like what we're navigating towards, I mean, we will not replace business process diagramming or making sure that all the data flows are structured. But what we see process team enjoy bringing the customer perspective in and say, okay, we have the journey. Then we're layering on, like Kaspar says, the backstage, the front stage, the data process in between to get an idea of what's where and where the gaps are and where people, in that case, need to wait. But it's also interesting to get the data in, right? If you have, let's say, a Salesforce that is actually calculating how many people are actually calling your service agents at a given point in time. Like that number changes over time as you implement maybe solutions to help them wait less long or have less questions. So bringing that data in, structuring even not the process itself, but the data around the process back into your journeys, which is the visual layer that people love to communicate around, is actually helping bridge that gap, because process teams by nature are internal focused, but by bringing that customer perspective in, by connecting it to the journeys, is one way that we see organizations do this at scale. I don't know if this is a good answer, maybe abstract, but this is one of the things that we see. So it's helping. Good. That's the answer. Simon says, my question is rather about establishing a tool and connected flows like TheyDo in enterprise environments where data will be rather considered for a while by biz people. I like that. Okay, cool. Yeah, what we see, and then Martin, you can share your perspective, is that big enterprise companies, they do their assessments, right? We sometimes get evaluated amongst 8 tools, very varying different tools, and also process tools. Till today, we come out on top because we focus on intuitiveness and ease of use. We focus on the user. So that is one of the things that we see. But every business is different. So in some cases, it makes sense to have a process tool in place. But in most cases, it makes sense to have something customer-centric. Martin, can you speak to what you see there?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, definitely we are in the process of expanding and more and more facilitate also process management. I don't think we will ever become the best process management tool there is out there, but definitely be able to follow through from okay, what are we going to do and why, and then track that across the whole flow. We are right now expanding with integrations where we will be more and more offering integrations with different platforms that you can sort of connect and collaborate. Our aim is that you will have data in, i.e., as Jochem mentioned before, Salesforce will definitely come up, so you can have a Salesforce lane or a Zendesk lane, what have you. And based on that, capture as much arguments for what are we going to do and why, and then output that into whatever format it might need to be in. Product board, Figma. Right now we have Azure and Jira, of course, and whatever that might be. But what you want to do is, of course, to track, okay, we are going to do this. This is the end result. And what are we expecting that end result being, i.e. impact, right? So with, we see here now, for instance, NPS readouts or whatever readouts you want to then validate it against should be also available in a journey format that you can then look at and understand in the context. Because something we also see is that a lot of companies out there are swimming in big data. But that big data is also so difficult to decipher for most people. Okay, if you're a data scientist, you get it. But if you want to really make very good decisions and really mix and understand what you're actually trying to do, you need to put it in a very easy to understand context, which definitely journeys deliver. So that way you will also be able to measure, before and after, have we actually delivered what we assumed we should deliver.